There was a young boy named Yusuf. He said to his father, "Oh, my dear father, I have surely seen 11 stars, and the sun, and the moon. I saw them prostrating to me." His father said, "Oh, my dear son, do not relate your vision to your brothers, lest they devise against you a plan. Surely Shaitan is to man a clear enemy, and thus will your Lord choose you, and teach you the interpretation of events, and complete his favor upon you, as he completed it upon your forefathers before you, Ibrahim and Ishaq. Surely your Lord is knowing, wise." And Yusuf and his brothers were signs for those who ask. His brothers said among themselves, "Surely Yusuf and his brother are more beloved to our father than we are, while we are a whole group. Indeed, our father is in clear error. Kill Yusuf, or cast him out to some land so that your father's attention may be only for you. Then after that, you may become righteous people." One of them said, "Do not kill Yusuf. Throw him into the bottom of a well, if you must do something so that some travelers may pick him up." They came to their father and said, "O our father, why do you not trust us with Yusuf while we are truly his well-wishers? Send him with us tomorrow that he may enjoy himself and play, and surely we will guard him." Their father said, "It grieves me that you should take him, and I fear that a wolf may eat him while you are heedless of him." They said, "If a wolf were to eat him while we are a strong group, then surely we would indeed be losers." Then, when they took him away and agreed to place him into the bottom of the well, Allah revealed to Yusuf, "You will surely inform them of this affair of theirs while they do not realize." He was alone in the darkness of the well, but he was not abandoned. Even there, revelation reached him. Even there, the future had already been written. At night, they came to their father weeping. They said, "O our father, indeed we went racing one another and left Yusuf with our belongings, and a wolf ate him. But you would never believe us even if we were truthful. And they brought his shirt with false blood upon it." Their father said, "No, your souls have enticed you to something. So patience is most fitting, and Allah is the one whose help is sought against what you describe." So Yaqub carried the grief, and Yusuf remained hidden from his father's sight, but not from Allah. Then a caravan came. They sent their water drawer, and he lowered his bucket. He cried out, "Good news! Here's a boy!" And they concealed him like merchandise. But Allah knew well what they were doing, and they sold him for a reduced price, a few silver coins, for they were of those who regarded him as insignificant. And the man from Egypt who bought him said to his wife, "Make his stay honorable. Perhaps he may benefit us, or we may adopt him as a son." Thus Allah established Yusuf in the land, and taught him the interpretation of events. And Allah is predominant over his affair, but most people do not know. And when Yusuf reached full maturity, Allah gave him judgment and knowledge. Thus does Allah reward the doers of good. The woman in whose house he was sought to seduce him, she closed the doors and said, "Come to me." Yusuf said, "I seek refuge in Allah. Indeed, He is my master who has made my stay good." Surely the wrongdoers do not succeed, and she certainly desired him, and he would have inclined to her had he not seen the proof of his Lord. Thus it was, so that Allah might turn away from him evil and immorality. Surely he was one of Allah's chosen servants, and they both raced to the door, and she tore his shirt from the back, and they found her husband at the door. She said, "What is the recompense for one who intended evil for your wife, except that he be imprisoned or suffer a painful punishment?" Yusuf said, "It was she who sought to seduce me, and a witness from her household testified, 'If his shirt is torn from the front, then she has spoken the truth, and he is of the liars. But if his shirt is torn from the back, then she has lied, and he is of the truthful.' So when her husband saw that his shirt was torn from the back, he said, 'Indeed, this is from your women's plotting. Surely your plotting is great. Yusuf, ignore this. And you, ask forgiveness for your sin. Surely you have been of the wrongdoers.' Women in the city said, 'The wife of the minister is seeking to seduce her servant. He has deeply infatuated her. Surely we see her in clear error.' So when she heard of their scheming, she sent for them and prepared for them a gathering. She gave each of them a knife. Then she said to Yusuf, 'Come out before them.' And when they saw him, they greatly admired him and cut their hands, and said, 'Perfect is Allah. This is not a human being. This is none but a noble angel.' She said, 'This is the one for whose sake you blamed me. I certainly sought to seduce him, but he firmly refused. And if he does not do what I command him, he will surely be imprisoned and be among those humiliated." Yusuf said, "My lord, prison is more beloved to me than that to which they call me. And if you do not turn their plot away from me, I may incline toward them and be of the ignorant." So his lord responded to him and turned away from him their plan. Surely he is the hearing, the knowing. Then it appeared to them, after they had seen the signs, that they should surely imprison him for a time. 2 young men entered the prison with him. One of them said, "I saw myself pressing wine," and the other said, "I saw myself carrying bread upon my head from which birds were eating. Inform us of its interpretation. Indeed, we see you to be among the doers of good." Yusuf said, "No food will come to you as provision, except that I will inform you of its interpretation before it comes to you. That is from what my Lord has taught me. Indeed, I have left the religion of a people who do not believe in Allah and who disbelieve in the hereafter. And I have followed the religion of my fathers, Ibrahim, Ishaq, and Yaqub. It was not for us to associate anything with Allah. That is from the favor of Allah upon us and upon mankind. But most people are not grateful. O my 2 companions of prison, are separate lords better, or Allah the one, the prevailing? You worship besides him nothing but names which you and your fathers have named, for which Allah has sent down no authority. Judgment belongs only to Allah. He has commanded that you worship none but him. That is the upright religion. But most people do not know. O my 2 companions of prison, as for one of you, he will give drink to his master of wine. But as for the other, he will be crucified, and birds will eat from his head. The matter has been decreed about which you both inquire." Then Yusuf said to the one he knew would be saved, "Mention me before your master." But Shaitan caused him to forget mentioning him to his master, so Yusuf remained in prison for several years. The king said, "Indeed, I have seen 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 lean ones, and 7 green spikes of grain and others dry. O assembly, explain to me my vision, if you can interpret visions." They said, "These are confused dreams, and we do not know the interpretation of such dreams." Then the one who had been saved remembered after a long time and said, "I will inform you of its interpretation, so send me forth." He came to Yusuf and said, "Yusuf, O man of truth, explain to us about 7 fat cows eaten by 7 lean ones, and 7 green spikes and others dry, that I may return to the people so that they may know." Yusuf said, "You will sow for 7 years as usual. Whatever you harvest, leave it in its spikes, except a little from which you eat. Then after that will come 7 hard years which will consume what you saved for them, except a little which you preserve. Then after that will come a year in which the people will be given rain and in which they will press." The king said, "Bring him to me." But when the messenger came to Yusuf, he said, "Return to your master and ask him what was the case of the women who cut their hands. Surely my lord is knowing of their plan." The king asked, "What was your affair when you sought to seduce Yusuf?" They said, "Perfect is Allah. We know against him no evil." The wife of the minister said, "Now the truth has become clear. I sought to seduce him, and indeed he is surely of the truthful. That is so he may know that I did not betray him in his absence, and that Allah does not guide the plot of the betrayers, and I do not absolve myself. Surely the soul is ever inclined to evil, except whom my Lord has mercy upon. Surely my Lord is forgiving, merciful." The king said, "Bring him to me. I will appoint him exclusively for myself." And when he spoke to him, he said, "Indeed, you are today established and trusted." Yusuf said, "Appoint me over the storehouses of the land. Surely I am a knowing guardian." Thus Allah established Yusuf in the land, settling therein wherever he willed. Allah grants his mercy to whom he wills, and he does not allow the reward of the doers of good to be lost. And surely the reward of the hereafter is better for those who believe and are mindful of Allah. Then Yusuf's brothers came and entered upon him. He recognized them, but they did not recognize him. And when he had furnished them with their supplies, he said, "Bring me a brother of yours from your father. Do you not see that I give full measure and that I am the best of hosts? But if you do not bring him to me, then there shall be no measure for you with me, nor shall you come near me." They said, "We will try to persuade his father concerning him, and indeed we will do so." And Yusuf said to his servants, "Put their merchandise into their saddlebags, so that they may recognize it when they return to their family, so that they may come back." When they returned to their father, they said, "O our father, measure has been denied to us. So send with us our brother that we may obtain measure, and surely we will guard him." Yaqub said, "Should I entrust you with him except as I entrusted you with his brother before? But Allah is the best guardian, and He is the most merciful of the merciful." And when they opened their baggage, they found their merchandise returned to them. They said, "O our father, what more could we desire? This is our merchandise returned to us. We will provide for our family, guard our brother, and obtain an extra camel load." "That is an easy measure," Yaqub said. "I will never send him with you until you give me a pledge in the name of Allah that you will surely bring him back to me unless you are surrounded." And when they gave him their pledge, he said, "Allah is witness over what we say." Then he said, "O my sons, do not enter from one gate but enter from different gates, and I cannot avail you against Allah at all. Judgment belongs only to Allah. Upon Him I rely, and upon Him let those who rely, rely." When they entered as their father had instructed them, it did not avail them against Allah at all, except that it was a need within Yaqub's soul which he fulfilled. Surely he was possessed of knowledge because we had taught him, but most people do not know. And when they entered upon Yusuf, he drew his brother near to himself and said, "Indeed, I am your brother. So do not grieve over what they used to do." Then when he had furnished them with their supplies, he placed the drinking cup into the bag of his brother. Then a caller called out, "O caravan, indeed you are thieves." They turned to them and said, "What is it that you are missing?" They said, "We are missing the king's cup, and for the one who brings it is a camel load. And I guarantee it." They said, "By Allah, you certainly know that we did not come to spread corruption in the land, and we have not been thieves." They said, "Then what shall be its recompense if you are liars?" They said, "Its recompense is that he in whose bag it is, found shall himself be the recompense." So Yusuf began with their bags before the bag of his brother. Then he extracted it from the bag of his brother. Thus we planned for Yusuf. He could not have taken his brother. Under the king's law, unless Allah willed, we raise in degrees whom we will, and above every possessor of knowledge is one more knowing. The brothers said, "If he steals, then a brother of his had stolen before." But Yusuf kept it within himself and did not reveal it to them. He said within himself, "You are worse in position, and Allah knows best what you describe." They said, "O minister, he has an aged father, so take one of us in his place. Indeed, we see you to be among the doers of good." Yusuf said, "We seek refuge in Allah from taking anyone except him with whom we found our possession. Surely then we would be unjust." So when they had despaired of him, they withdrew privately in consultation. The eldest of them said, "Do you not know that your father has taken from you a pledge in the name of Allah, and before this you failed concerning Yusuf? So I will never leave this land until my father permits me or Allah judges for me." They returned to their father and said, "O our father, your son has stolen and we testify only to what we know." Yaqub said, "No, your souls have enticed you to something. So patience is most fitting. Perhaps Allah will bring them all to me. Surely He is the knowing, the wise." And he turned away from them and said, "Oh, my sorrow over Yusuf." And his eyes became white from grief, for he was suppressing his sorrow. They said, "By Allah, you will not cease remembering Yusuf until you become fatally ill or are of those who perish." He said, "I only complain of my suffering and my grief to Allah, and I know from Allah that which you do not know. O my sons, go and search for Yusuf and his brother, and do not despair of relief from Allah. Surely none despairs of relief from Allah except the disbelieving people." So they entered upon Yusuf and said, "O minister, adversity has touched us and our family, and we have come with poor merchandise. So give us full measure and be charitable to us. Surely Allah rewards the charitable." Yusuf said, "Do you know what you did with Yusuf and his brother when you were ignorant?" They said, "Are you indeed Yusuf?" He said, "I am Yusuf and this is my brother. Allah has certainly favored us. Surely whoever is mindful of Allah and patient, then indeed Allah does not allow the reward of the doers of good to be lost." They said, "By Allah, Allah has certainly preferred you over us, and indeed we have surely been sinners." Yusuf said, "No blame will there be upon you today. Allah will forgive you, and He is the most merciful of the merciful. Take this shirt of mine and cast it over the face of my father. He will become seeing, and bring me your family all together." When the caravan departed, their father said, "Indeed I sense the fragrance of Yusuf. If you do not think me weakened, they said, by Allah, you are surely in your old error. But when the bearer of good news arrived, he cast it over his face, and Yaqub returned seeing. He said, Did I not tell you that I know from Allah that which you do not know? They said, O our father, ask forgiveness for our sins. Surely we have been sinners. He said, I will ask my Lord to forgive you. Surely he is the forgiving, the merciful. Then when they entered upon Yusuf, he raised his parents upon the throne, and they fell before him in prostration. Yusuf said, O my father, this is the interpretation of my vision from before. My Lord has made it true. He was certainly good to me when he took me out of prison and brought you from the desert after Shaitan had sown discord between me and my brothers. Surely my Lord is subtle in what he wills. Surely he is the knowing, the wise. My Lord, you have certainly given me of sovereignty and taught me of the interpretation of events. Creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and the hereafter. Cause me to die a Muslim and join me with the righteous. That is from the news of the unseen which Allah reveals. You were not with them when they agreed upon their plan while they were plotting, and most people, though you should strive for it, are not believers, yet you do not ask them for it any reward. It is nothing but a reminder for the worlds, and how many signs in the heavens and the earth they pass by while they turn away from them.